August 1947. A land divided. Millions uprooted. Families torn apart. This is the story of the Partition of India, a chapter of history that changed millions of lives forever. For centuries, India had lived under British rule. As independence finally approached, hope filled the air, but so did tension. Political disagreements deepened between communities. Leaders debated borders, religion, and the future of a free nation. Then the announcement came. British India would be divided into two independent countries, India and Pakistan. A line would be drawn across the land, separating provinces, villages, and even families. What followed was not just a political transition, it became one of the largest and most painful migrations in human history. More than 14 million people were forced to leave their homes almost overnight. Hindus and Sikhs began moving toward India. Muslims began moving toward Pakistan. Families packed whatever they could carry and stepped into an uncertain future. Trains overflowed with desperate passengers. Roads filled with endless columns of refugees walking for miles under the burning sun. Fear spread faster than news. Rumors turned neighbors into enemies. Violence erupted in cities and villages. Homes were looted. Entire neighborhoods were set on fire. Many innocent people lost their lives in riots and attacks. Historians estimate that up to 2 million people may have died during the chaos. Communities that had lived together for generations suddenly found themselves divided by suspicion and anger. Childhood friends were separated by borders. Brothers found themselves on opposite sides of a new nation. The line drawn on a map became a line drawn through countless hearts. Yet, even in the midst of horror, humanity did not disappear completely. There were stories of courage and compassion. Some families protected neighbors of different faiths, risking their own safety. Strangers offered water, food, and shelter to those fleeing violence. Parents carried their children across long distances, determined to keep them alive. Survivors walked for days, sometimes weeks, holding on to hope when everything else had been taken from them. Many who survived carried invisible scars for the rest of their lives. They rebuilt their homes in unfamiliar cities. Refugee camps slowly transformed into new neighborhoods. People started businesses from nothing. Children grew up hearing stories of a homeland they could no longer visit. The memories of 1947 were passed down through generations, shaping identities and relationships across the subcontinent. The Partition of India did not end in 1947. Its impact continued to influence politics, borders, and relations between India and Pakistan for decades. Families remained separated across borders, some never reunited. The trauma of that time became a silent shadow in countless households. Today, when we look back at the events of 1947, we do not just see a date in history. We see millions of human stories. Stories of loss, displacement, survival, and resilience. The partition was more than a division of land. It was a division of lives, memories, and dreams. History reminds us of the cost of hatred and the consequences of division. But it also reminds us of the strength of ordinary people who endure unimaginable hardship and still find a way to rebuild. As we remember 1947, we honor those who lost their lives, those who survived against all odds, and those whose stories were never recorded. The echoes of partition still remain, not only in history books, but in the hearts of millions.